So, Carleen, thanks for your kind comments about the anecdotes, and you're enjoying the anecdotes. Never get an actor started in anecdotes. So, I thought I'd give you one more on the broad theme of working with famous people, working with people who are more qualified, more experienced, more mature than yourself. Now, the challenge in this specifically was when we were working on. I wrote a film called The Patrol, which was a sort of satire on US foreign policy, and it was basically the premise was Northern Ireland is invaded by US forces who are ostensibly hunting down Al Qaeda, who are run amok in the population, but in actual fact, this is all just a ruse because oil has been discovered off the coast of Ireland. So we follow the progress of a foot patrol with an embedded journalist as they hunt for Al Qaeda operatives in rural Northern Ireland. And we were very fortunate in that the wonderful Joe Estevez of the Estevez Sheen family came on board to play the lead for us. And so you can imagine, this is my first short film, it was UK lottery funding. I was writing and directing. And along comes Joe, who had been, had spent a lot of time working on Apocalypse Now, probably one of the most famous films ever made, with one of the most famous and great maestro directors of all time. And there I was, having to kind of man up and direct Joe, which I think you don't need me to fill in the blanks there of how intimidating that would be. Now that was offset when we went to meet Joe at the airport. The producers, Mickey O'Neill and Michelle Walsh, both wonderful people from Belfast. And we went to meet Joe coming off the airplane, and I thought, well, how am I going to meet this chap? And I hope to make him feel at home and welcome. So I walked up to him and offered to shake his hand. He says, come here, son, and put his arms around me and gave me a lovely big bear hug. And that was just typical of Joe. He's such a generous, kind, informal and warm-hearted man, and I just immediately liked him. And we got off to a really good start with our working relationship, and he was a delight to work with. Now, in the course of, in fact, I actually got an email from him yesterday. We shot the film 6 years ago or more, so so lovely to still be in touch. Now, Joe and I worked very, very well together on the film, and there's a little making of that was made by a guy called Dave Shortland, who's a friend. And Dave kindly came on board and brought his skills to the making of the electronic press kit for the Patrol, as the film was called. And in that you'll see Joe talking about the process of making the film and the content of it, and that he enjoyed being in a film that was about something. Now, The Patrol is a film that people watch and either kind of go, what was that? Or, wow. There's no middle ground with The Patrol. It's kind of like, what the hell was that about? Or, man, that's just really, really on the ball. So, I hope that you're in the second order of viewers, but you may well not be, so that's all grand. There was one incident where I had to direct Joe contrary to his instincts, and it was actually the first shot. The first shot wasn't working well. It was that it's a briefing scene in the field, and there was a whole bunch of actors, and it was kind of like a make or break moment where I could just tell that the shot wasn't right, and that it was up to me to address that. Now that involved me being straight with Joe and the other actors. Look, this scene isn't working, and really just being upfront about that, because actors know if they're being bullshitted. They're very intelligent people, and nobody likes to be patronised, and everybody knows that the energy in this isn't right. So it was the first shot. I had to just kind of step up and bite the bullet, and that's what we did. And the next shot was fine, and then the shot after that was better and better. And basically, it was that kind of make or break thing where we had to decide to pull together and be real with each other to make the film work. And Joe and the rest of the cast were fabulous in the movie. There were other bits in the course of filming where we kind of fell out almost, and it was kind of like, why are we doing this? And that process of trust and collaboration gets put through the crucible because of the way that you're working. You haven't had time to build that normal forming, storming, norming and performing paradigm that happens in any collaborative process, which is you form, which is people get together, you what is it forming? Storm. You storm next. You form, then you storm, which is basically setting out the boundaries. Everybody's nice for the first little bit, and then after that, you know, the ruckus keeps in, and people set up their boundaries, and hey, I'm not up for this, and this isn't cool with me, and that's not the way I like to work. Then the dust settles, norming, and once the norming has been sort of established, then you can get on with the business of performing. And you'll find that within any collaborative group dynamic. Forming, storming, norming and performing. And that's what happened to us, but it had to happen very, very quickly and very intensely. And of course then you've got money involved, because, you know, time is money on a set, and you're losing light, and you've got issues to do with your own self-confidence and authority. You're working with people who are much more experienced than yourself, who have worked with great, great directors. You're actually literally standing there going, this guy's been directed by Francis Ford Coppola, where do I get my cojones that I can say this or that to him, you know? But you've got to remember that Joe and the other actors understand that, and that they're not coming from a place of ego, they're coming from a place of service and talent and enthusiasm, and everybody has to put their ego aside to a certain extent and serve the film. And that's what I loved about Joe, and love about him still, was his talent, what he brought to the film in terms of charisma and personality, and how well he played the part. And his generosity as well, and I love him very much. So Joe, if you are watching, and I hope you are, love to you, my friend, and to you and your family, and here's to working together again soon. And thank you for the adventure. It meant so much to me. And our mutual friend Nick Harden, who we will have on to talk in $50 Film School, because there's another actor, and without Nick we wouldn't have had Joe on the film, and Nick also just played a fantastic role in the movie. So there you go, yet another somewhat stale anecdote from my archives, but if it can pass on something that's useful to you guys in terms of you know, just having the courage to serve your project together, regardless of the issues of ego and insecurity and perceived authority and status that we project onto that. And also just remember that basic paradigm, that model of forming, storming, norming and performing. It will help you not get freaked when the inevitable storming happens, and you actually sort of see that as part and parcel of a normal set of social relationships, rather than kind of, whoa, where did that come from? And it's freaking me out. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you Robert and Paul for your comments. Thank you Brad and Laura for sending in your movies, and for all of you for your support. Subscribe, drop in at $50 films, my50dollarfilmschool.com on Facebook, and see you soon. God bless. Thanks now. Bye.